Okay, now let us talk about this movie coming out of 2010, and the movie is The Book of Eli. The directors are Halbert Hughes and Alan Hughes. It stars Denzel Washington, Mila Kunis, and Gary Oldman. Now, please use critical thinking in all we do. Let us connect the dots and ask questions. What is it that Hollywood is trying to tell us? Right? Now, these movies were never made for our pure entertainment. They are showing you the various agendas, and they are letting you know their plans for humanity. Pay attention and connect the dots. Right? Now, an overview of this movie is about a character named Eli, and he spends the better part of 30 years wandering across America, and he is fighting all sorts of danger just to keep a book safe. Why? This book contains the secret to save humanity. Now I wonder, what kind of book is this? What kind of book that the character Eli is protecting? Right? Let us ask the questions and connect the dots. Now, this movie is from 2010. We are in 2020. Right? The movie is set in the year 2024. Right? And for reference of that, you need to pay attention in the movie, because if you blink, you miss the calendar that shows the year 2024. Right? It had to be pointed out to me by a member of the team, because I saw the calendar, but I did not see what was written on it. You have to pay attention to this movie because it is extremely deep. Now, in the movie, America is going through birth pains, and we see America destroyed, severely destroyed, right? And the grid is down, and they are operating on a barter system. Right? And when Denzel is bartering to get his music player charged up, he used some KFC wipes. Yes, the wipes that you get at KFC before the meal and to use after the meal, that is what he used to barter his way, along with a lighter, right? To barter his way to get his music player charged up. Now, he was asked if he have any children toys. He was asked if he got any chapstick, right? Or even clothing. Pay attention, right? Now, hygiene products seems to be a big thing in this movie, right? Especially shampoo. Now, for those of you who are preparing and buying items, these would be good items to put aside so you can use to trade with, and you can have after whatever is coming. You can stay clean. You can be able to take care of yourself and your families properly. Right? Now, as I said before, this movie is set in 2024, and the movie Birdsong also is set in the year 2024. What is coming? What are they planning to do? Right? What are they planning to do that will leave America looking so isolated and destroyed? Right? Leaving people to fend for themselves, because in this movie, water is key. Fresh water is king. Right? That is king in that society. Fresh, clean water is king. Open your eyes and pay attention. Right? Now, there is a dialogue in the movie that I would like to get into because I find it very important. Now it goes like this. Denzel said this to this robber. I know who you are, murderer of innocent travelers on the road. You are going to be held to account for the things you have done. Do you know that? Do you? Now understand that regardless of the position that we are in, regardless of the jobs we do, we all will be accountable for the things that we do. So you need to be careful of the things you do in these nursing homes, the things you do in these schools, the things you do in the hospitals, because you all will be held accountable for it before the Most High Creator. And saying that it was my job is not a good enough excuse. Right? So you better understand what time it is and what is going to happen. right? Many of us soon won't have a job. There won't be no jobs available. What is going on right now is the calm before the storm, right? So be prepared and understand we wrestle not with flesh and blood, but with wickedness in high places. And another thing about the society where they live is that you have to show them your hands, right? Because it is a society where people start to eat human flesh, right? That is what they are doing because food is in short supply. So if you pick up the disease of shaking because you are eating human flesh, then they will know to stay away from you. So you have to show them your hand to see if you are shaking. Now, that particular scene brings me back to a book I've read where various tribes, when they meet strangers, would ask them to show them their hand to see how many fingers they have. Pay attention, right? Because this movie is telling us a whole lot. Now we've got an interesting dialogue between Denzel Washington character and Mila Kunis because she's a young girl in the movie and she's asking Denzel what it was like to grow up in his time, a time before the war, a time before America was going through birth pains. Now listen to what Denzel had to say, right? And he said, people had more than they needed. We had no idea what was precious, what wasn't. We threw away things. People will kill each other for now. So you realize the times that we are going into, right? So time is precious. And the things that we are throwing away and taking for granted right now is the things a couple months from now we are going to wish we have, right? So you need to understand what is happening and the times that we are going into. Right? All right. Let's keep it moving. Now we have a situation where Denzel characters and the character played by Gary Oldman, which is Carnegie, meet because they want the book that Denzel have. Right? And Carnegie had this to say. Look, I need that book. I mean, I want the book. And you, but if you make me choose, I'll kill you. I'll take the book. Now, Denzel character asks a question, why? Why do you want it? And Carnegie answered, I grew up with it. I know its power. And if you read it, then so do you. That's why they burned them all after the war. Pay attention, right? So they right here, they verify that it's a war that will destroy America in 2024 or before 2024. There will be a war and they will be burning books. Now, this is coming straight out of the Nazi war playbook. That's what I call it, because this is coming from World War II, because during World War II, Hitler was burning books. Because if you're going to start a new world order, you need to get rid of all the history. You need to get rid of the Bible. Now, the Bible is a very good book that tells of a time gone by. It is also a very good history book. So you've got to get rid of it if you're coming in with a new satanic world order. And right here in this dialogue, they are telling you that they burned them all. So people, get your Bibles ready. Get your guns if you live in America ready. And know where you're going to hide your stuff for when that day comes around. Because it is coming. They give you a year and they tell you exactly what they are going after. Because when you are a society that burns book, you are burning history. Right? And they have to get rid of history in order to bring in a satanic new world order. So they are coming for books. Right? Let's continue with the dialogue with Carnegie. Just staying alive is one of faith. Building this town is an even bigger act of faith. But they don't understand that. None of them. And I don't have the right words to help them. But the book does. Right? Let's keep it moving. No, I admit I've had to do things, many things I had to. To build this, I confess that, but if we have that book, I wouldn't have to now imagine. I wouldn't have to. Now imagine. Imagine how different, how righteous this little world could be if we had the right words for our faith. The people would truly understand why they are here and what they are doing. They wouldn't need any of the uglier motivation. It's not right to keep that book hidden away. It's meant to be shared with others. It's meant to be spread. Isn't that what you want? No, Eli answered, with all my heart and soul. I always believed that I'd find a place where this book belonged, where it was needed, but I haven't found it yet. So, definitely, they are looking for this book, which is the Bible, right? That is the book that they're looking for. That the character played by Gary Oldman, which is Carnegie, he needs the book to use it to control people. Now, let's get into some more dialogue, because after they got into a fight, now his men got upset because they're starting to say all of this over a book. Now, let's pick up this dialogue. For a effing book? Then Carnegie answer, it's not a effing book, it's a weapon. Let's go over that. It's not a effing book, it's a weapon. Understand that the Bible, even though it's a good book to an extent, it is also a weapon because it is a tampered book. And right here in this movie, they are telling you that the Bible is a weapon. It has been weaponized, right? And black people is so much into Jesus. They are so much into Jehovah. They are so much into Christianity or salvation or whatever it is that they call their religion right now, that they cannot understand that they are under severe mind control. The Bible is a weapon, and that is what they will use to round you people up, to take you to the slaughter. Because there is a verse in the Bible that says, obey the laws of the land. So obey the laws of the land and take this poisonous immunization, right? Obey the laws of the land and take this DNA nanotech immunization. Understand, we wrestle not with flesh and blood. The Bible would have been a very good book had it been left intact, but it is not. And you have to use some serious discernment to understand what is being said, because people have weaponized that book. Now, let's continue with some more dialogue. A weapon aimed right at the hearts and mind of the weak. Listen, I'll read it again. A weapon aimed at the hearts and mind of the weak and the desperate. It will give us control of them. You hear? Control of the weak and desperate minds. Because those are the people who are holding on to Jesus and Christianity. Right? And if we want to rule more than one small effing town, we have to have it. People will come from all over. They'll do exactly what I tell them. If the words are from the book, it's happened before and it will happen again. All we need is that book. So right here they're telling you it happened before and it will happen again. All we need is that book, right? That book is a weapon, and it has been used against the minds of the weak and the desperate to control them, just like what they're doing to Christianity, to religion. And so many of you are in these churches, these religious organizations, and you do not realize that the very book that you call holy, that book is used to control you. That is what that book is all about. And that is why the book was taken away from the original people and tampered with. right? It is a tampered book, and it is used especially by men to keep women quiet, because there is so much verse in that book that tells you that woman should shut up and sit aside and allow the man to rule, right? Understand that this movie is letting you know what they will use, the weapon that they will use to lead you to the slaughter, the Bible. Right? And what is even stranger in this movie is that when Carnegie finally gets the Bible, it is written in Braille, meaning that the character in the movie played by Denzel Washington was blind. Right? So by faith, he was walking to bring the Bible to the right people. By faith, he was fighting. Right? By faith, he was kept alive. This movie is extremely deep. Right? You need to pay attention, use critical thinking, and understand that these people are telling you exactly their plan, how they intend to round you up, and what they will use. They will use the Bible. It is a Bible that they will use for you to worship the Antichrist. It is a Bible that they will use for you to accept Lucifer as your God. Because the God that you're supposed to serve is not in the Bible. They have taken him out and replaced it with Lucifer and the Antichrist. Right? And this movie, the book of Eli, is telling you that. Right? Understand, this is a spiritual war. We wrestle not with flesh and blood. The enemy is very intelligent. Do not underestimate the power of your enemy. They were made years before us. Right? They are extremely intelligent, and they did not come this far to fail. So they are going to pull out every little trick to get you to worship the Antichrist and the beast system. And right here, this movie is telling you without apology that it will be the Bible. Take a look at the dialogue for yourself in this movie and understand what they are telling you straight to your face. The Bible is a weapon, and it is used on the desperate, weak minds, and it was used to control them before, and it will be used again. Right? That is how they used to control people. No, we need to understand that we are in the end times. Regardless of how you feel, regardless if you think I'm being negative, regardless if you want to go out and have a nice time, know that these are the end times, and it is just the calm before the storm. We need to pray. Pray for our children. Pray for discernment. Pray for humanity. And let us say, glory be to the Most High.